right? I love data. That's my jam. That's my reason for being. I love solving problems. That's where I want to focus all my work as an SEO. All of us in this room have our own space, our own happy place, and so I want to help you connect with that and make more money at the same time. Does that sound good? Who wants to double their income? What about triple? Okay, what I'm sharing today all comes from my journey, which was unique, and all of our journeys are unique. And what I'm going to show you is kind of a retrospective, me looking back at my career and what I did right, and not to sink too far into confirmation bias, but I wanted to get to a place, where's the deck? Okay, sweet. I wanted to share what I did that I thought was right, because I feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the world. And I want to define for you how you can tap into that in your own spaces and to really get the most out of things. This image is the simplest drawing I ever executed. I drew this in 2002. This is my why. This is my dream. This is why I do everything. I wanted to find a life partner. I was hopeful we could build a family together. If I was lucky enough, maybe we'd have a couple pets all inside a home that we owned. That was it. That's what I wanted. And as we get jumping in here today, I want you all to think about, what do you want out of life? Is SEO part of that long-term journey? Maybe, maybe not. What is your dream? What is your why? And what would you sacrifice to get it? Because a lot of times, this journey is hard. You're going to put a ton of time and energy into yourself and your skill set, and that time that you invest is going to be necessary. If I told you that you were going to have to put in 400 hours a year of time increasing your skill set, I see you grimacing. Who's willing to do that? That's a huge number, right? 300 hours, 200 hours, 100 hours, 50 hours. Come on. That's an hour a week. Do you see how your mental perception changed when I took it from a big number to a weekly commitment? And it went from 1 hour a week for 50 over the year, 2 hours for 100, 3 a week for 150, etc. The time that you're willing to put in, and this is not an homage to hustle culture. I'm not talking about an 80-hour work week. I'm talking about reading the things that turn you on. The blog articles in the vein and the passion that you really get into. The time that you spend is going to turn into income. See, we're going on a journey together, and I like to call it down the mountain. And this is sort of how I think about my whole career. I feel like I knew that I liked some things. I gravitated towards the technical. I really gravitate towards other people. I gravitate towards persuading people. I really gravitate towards information and turning information into action. Those are a lot of disparate things that I'm really into, right? I knew that whatever I did had to involve all of those ways of working in order for me to be happy. And so when we talk about down the mountain, what we're really talking about is kind of like being a shepherd at the top of the mountain, and all you know is that you need to get your flock to go down. It's just that level of strategy. The strategy piece isn't hard. It's the execution and the time that you're willing to spend. And out of all of these people in the room, let's see hands again. Who can do 400 hours a year? Not that many. Actually, there's actually a lot, right? I'm not telling you that you have to do that, but the time that you invest in yourself is going to have a huge payoff. And this is why I think it's really, really important. The future is different than the present. You know, something that I heard last year at MozCon was, you know, what we did in the past isn't what we're going to need to do in the future, right? Do we all remember that quote? I think that the future is going to be more technical. I think that there's going to be more access to information, data coming from hopefully Google Trends, bulk transfer service, GA4, pick your marketing channel, ChatGPT. Our ability to use and synthesize data is going to be more important, and that's the future, but this is the present. People are the problem. They're our challenge and our opportunity. And so as we move through our careers, learning how to really work with and motivate and persuade other people is what's going to define success and unlock your success in your career. Notice, this comes from Tom Critchlow's Skills Maturity Matrix. Notice how SEO knowledge is really critical early in our careers, but as we drift towards that director or VP, head of SEO type roles, our ability to motivate people is the thing that makes us valuable. Or you could kind of follow my lead and drift into that individual contributor path. And just as an aside, like my career path changed several times. I worked in the bike industry for 20 years doing retail. I worked for a bike e-commerce platform where I did hero images for a year and a half. I launched Bike Shop SEO, and I ran that agency for a year and a half, and I came to the realization, actually, no, it wasn't a year and a half, it was like 3 years. I came to the realization that I didn't really love operational stuff, and I didn't really want to manage people, but I really wanted to do innovation work, and I really wanted to solve problems. Find your jam. Find your space. This is why soft skills are important. If money's important to you, it's not the whole picture for everybody. Soft skills are what you're getting paid for as you go along in your career. I might have mentioned that I often feel like the luckiest guy in the world. Here's what luck is. It's the combination of learning all of those skills and then learning how to tell the right people that you're good at them. And it might be in a one-on-one Zoom call. It might be in a webinar. It might be in a place like this. It might be writing a blog post. However you get the word out to connect with your intended audience is what's going to determine how successful you are in achieving whatever your goals are. Work-life balance, revenue, whatever. We're going to have 4 different things that we go over today. We're going to talk about going wide early, going deep, going big, and giving back, which I think is the most important. So go wide before you go deep. I think when we start in SEO, a lot of times we're really, really excited, but we don't know exactly what we want to learn, what's really key, what's important. I think early on, it's about developing a tool belt of skills, whether it's Google Sheets, whether it's keyword research, whether it's outreach, whatever. You have to learn all the things early. And you don't necessarily have to pick your passion yet. You just have to get experience in things. And I do recommend going down the agency path early. And the reason why is that you're going to run into all kinds of people with all kinds of clients, with all kinds of web technologies, with all kinds of different business goals. Getting in touch with what motivates all of those different peoples to take action to accomplish their goals is critical. Exposure is money, and that's what you get early. And then dig your ditches. Special points on Twitter or in the SEO community Slack group if you can name 2 objects that are in that picture. Okay, you're good. So dig your ditches. When I was early in my career, I worked on a carpentry crew in Nantucket Island. I hated working outside in January. It was cold, raw, awful. One of the jobs that I had to do was actually dig a ditch under a house. 25 feet long, had to bang a right, 25 feet another direction. I had to make it 2 feet wide, 2 feet deep. I had to carry dirt out of the ditch by hand shovel, 5-gallon buckets. It sucked. It took 3 weeks. Early in your career, dig your ditches. What does this mean? Do the hardest, most difficult job that you can in your agency. Sign up for the sucky work, and here's why. You're going to develop grit and resilience. Those 2 characteristics are the most important thing. If I told you that you had to do 400 hours, you're probably like, fuck that. Ooh, sorry, family environment. Awesome. I got to laugh. Yes! If I told you that you had to do all that thing, you'd say, no way. But those ditches are what make you stronger, and that's what gives you focus and drive and determination to excel. Also, be super comfortable in your learning path with making mistakes. If you're trying to learn new skills, making mistakes and making them at speed is incredibly important. It's what changes our brain chemistry so that we can actually learn new things. The Huberman lab gets ripped on all the time. I was told by a colleague that I did this without me even knowing, and he made me listen to the podcast. Apparently, this is how I learn normally. You might learn something really cool here. Check it out. My 2 kids, right? This is the essence of us. This is what drives us all day to do the best work. Asking the questions, what if, why, super critical. Do everything you can, right? And you might be thinking, we only do X at our agency. I don't care, find a way. Do pro bono work outside of work. Work on that passion project. It might be your car passion, it might be your Korean pop music passion, who knows? Yeah, I see you, Debbie. Work with your friends and family. Maybe your uncle's got a law practice that you can help make more money with. Find a way. Get as much exposure as you can, because something's going to happen that helps you tap into your passion, which the Japanese call their ikigai, or their reason for being. Critical thinking. I've gone over some rules, be curious, but this skill is something that is going to change your life. In 10 years, who knows if SEO will be here, but the ability to think critically is analogous to me teaching you how to fish, right? You're always going to have dinner. What is critical thinking? It's the art of deciding what to do, when to do it. Use a decision-making process. There's all kinds of them. If you've never even done any research on this, the best place to start is this book, Problem Solving 101. It's 100 pages long. It was written by Ken Watanabe for Japanese school children to teach them how to think better. This is an hour and a half of your time. It'll change your life. Now, when I was at 2 Octobers before joining 𝗙cie, and I'm so stoked to be at 𝗙cie, can you guys all thank Joy for me? She's in the room, right? 2 Octobers is amazing too, but we came up with this thing that I called the 2 Octobers way. And this is what I recommend that we all embrace for learning how to drive performance as fast as possible. We need to learn how to define the problem that we're trying to solve all the time, and use first principles thinking in order to do that. Basically, we take the most complex problem that we can find, break it down into its simplest parts, and then we reason solutions up from the foundation, rather than deciding how to solve it by, this is how we've always done it. This is how we've always done it here. That's useless. We need to come up with the best ideas. That blog article will teach you all about first principles thinking. I mentioned that things are getting more technical. We need to know how to gather and explore data. When I say explore data, I mean spending time with it. I know we're all under time pressures, but there's something magical that happens when you really dig into something and you really feel like you've done the work. You know when you've done the work versus not, right? When I'm talking about gathering and exploring data, I'm talking about simple things like learning how to jump into a marketing platform, exporting a CSV or Google Sheet out of it, and putting that into Google Looker Studio and building a time series chart where you can see the change in clicks on a specific page over time, where all of a sudden you can say, in January, our website hit the wall. You need to be able to gather and explore data because we're going to have more and more of it. Also, the next step in that process is learning how to extract insights. And we do this by nature. We look at things, and then we go, holy crap, I wonder if it means, and we start to tell a narrative. We start to tell a story. So write those insights down, and then you're going to form a hypothesis. This is where we connect information to action, right? And that's the most critical thing about information. It's not precision or accuracy. It's, do I have enough information to make a decision to actually do something, whether it's asking for budget or making changes on a website. So you're going to form a hypothesis. You're then going to test it. And then after the test, you're going to continuously track and improve. And as 𝗙cie_Noah would probably agree with, it's that cadence with which we do this whole process that we drive performance. I don't have a lot of time to talk about bias. It's critically important. This is a great place to dive in and learn a lot about how it impacts us negatively. Learn to prioritize. This soft skill Anybody ever spin their wheels ever? Ever? What do I do next? Right? Okay. Learn to prioritize. And it's really just learning what to do and when to do it. And there's all kinds of different frameworks. I'm going to show you two. The point is not to say this is the one, even though there's one that I really prefer. But it's really just how different people have organized theirs. I like this one. Impact and ease of implementation. Focus on the top right. Keep it simple. Don't do the bottom left ever. There's something called the Eisenhower matrix, which is pretty rad. This is really different because it's about importance versus time. Okay, so we've gone wide. We've learned how to think more clearly. Now we get to go deep. And this is, as you're going wide, you're going to find yourself all of a sudden learning stuff. And you're going to find yourself bouncing from one blog article to the next. And you might look up that author and find them on social media. And you're going to find yourself thinking about stuff. This is where you need to focus. Your body and your brain are telling you this is your jam. It's also the thing that probably your colleagues and your clients are telling you you're great at. Focus on this. This is your ikigai. This is your reason for being, at least in SEO, right? And this is something that when Westerners appropriated the concept from the Japanese, they kind of ruined it. And they put this, what you can be paid for at the bottom and what the world needs on the right. But really it's finding what you love, combine those different elements in order to find a thing that just makes you want to work. And there's this great book written about ikigai, and one of the things that Japanese folk do is not retire, especially in Okinawa. They work forever. And it's not just that they're working, they might be doing like their passion pottery kind of thing outside of work. Okay, going deep to me meant connecting with my heroes. It meant when I went to MozCon Local in 2015, I bugged Greg Gifford. And we had dinner. And we got drunk. And we had a really good time. Best dinner ever, right? And then also I've done it on social media. And I want to show you how this is the simplest framework you're ever going to see. And I'm going to do it fast. Like their posts. Comment when appropriate. DM. And when you DM them, this is really simple. I want you to be bolder than you've ever thought you were capable of being. I will tell you that in all the speeches I've ever given where I tell everyone in the room, and there's a lot of you here today, if anyone wants help building their network, reach out to me on Twitter or LinkedIn or through the SEO community. I do this at every time I do a deck. I've had 5 people reach out to me ever. And I'm not the worst speaker in the world. I'm pretty good at this, so I feel like maybe someone's going to take advantage of it. And so my point is this. Do it. DM your heroes. And when you do it, have something specific in mind. These are examples of ones where I've done outreach to people. In all of my history, I've reached out to over 500 SEOs, and there have been only 2 people who have not jumped in a meeting with me. 2 people ever. Rand Fishkin and Katerina Azarenko. I got to bust her chops yesterday. Okay, more examples. Yo, I'd like to be pals and have Zooms every occasionally if you're up for it. Super easy peasy, super simple. Dude, I totally love that. That one's from Colin Nielsen, who I now get to work with, which is amazing. But send people comments and get them to do a Zoom. When you're in the room with them, follow Heather's advice. Seek as much wisdom as you can. Do not go in this with, give me a job, give me stuff, give me. You're going in instead with, how can you help them? What can you give them to make them better? Be a spider, build your web, basically. I'm going to talk a little bit about community because I think it's incredibly important. I've kind of fumbled my way into it a couple times, and I feel like I'm starting to get pretty good at it. Here's the thing. You have a passion, other people have passions. Find the communities that include the same types of people with the same types of passions, and what you're going to find is that a rising tide is going to lift all boats. If you don't see a community that's exactly what you want, build your own. That SEO community that we built, on day 1, we had community rules up. On day 1, I had moderators joining to help. And we have 600 people in that in less than a month, which to me is a lot of growth. And it also means that SEOs right now are yearning for community. We're yearning for togetherness. We're like a flock in the desert trying to find our new paradise where we can all be together. And here's why it's important. Community exposed me to a world of possibilities. We all walk through reality with our blinders on. I know what my reality is, I know what my job is, but I don't know what's possible. By being around your heroes and being around other people from other walks of life, you're gonna see things that you never knew that were open to you. And when you have those conversations, it's holy shit, it's in my reach, I can get it. I love this too from Christina. In terms of my career, I get all kinds of opportunities to collaborate with brands because of her role starting a new community. Now I have a seat at the table. That's why it's important. This is my favorite part about community. I get to hang out with other SEOs and go fly fishing. This is during Local U in July of last year. This is when I spoke at SearchLove last year. I got to hang out with my SEO shooting the poop community in Philadelphia. Right as I was getting COVID too, by the way. That was great, love that. Going big. There's a bunch of different ways that you can go big. We all have different personalities. We all have different things that we can give. Some of us are amazing writers. They can pull the heartstrings on the page. Others of us, not so much. If you're one of the writers, do a blog. Just do it. And what should I write about? It doesn't matter what you write about, but I would focus on the thing that you want to learn on. Learn more about. That, I think, is the core of everything that we want to go big on. Host a podcast. Doing a podcast is an amazing bridge if you ever want to think about doing speaking. When I was doing SEO when I started, I didn't really know how I fit in. I knew how to build websites. I knew how to do on-page SEO. But I didn't really understand how I could turn that from working in a bike e-commerce platform where I was the only one in the place that looked at Google Analytics and I structured home pages based on search volume, how I could go from that to doing something like this, right? And so I hosted a podcast called Agency Automators, and I think it's an amazing thing that you can do because you can have your heroes on that podcast. And if you promote their message, they're going to care about you and your outcomes. And you can do that too to build leads. It's an amazing way to build leads. Learning to speak. Who's getting anxious when I talk about speaking? Anyone? Let's be honest, right? Oh, she's here tomorrow. Oh, you're today? Yeah, so learning to speak, and I'm not talking about necessarily MozCon. I'm talking about your local SEO meetup where there's 7 people in the room. I guarantee that speech will be the hardest speech you've ever given. This is a piece of cake, surprisingly, right? Learn to speak. What does that mean? I love this slide from Brendan. Master Talk is a great YouTube channel. If you've never seen it, you'll be a better communicator after you watch it. This guy is so annoying, but he has so many smart things. And this is a motivational. If you're like, hey, the idea of speaking in public is making me want to pee my pants, this is why you want to do it. There's always somebody who has what you want, and they're almost always a better communicator than we are. Okay, why speak? It's going to make you a better thinker. You're going to have clarity around anything that you need to communicate about. I read all kinds of books getting ready for this deck because I was so nervous about it. It's going to open tons of professional doors for you. Whether it's inside your agency or outside, this is going to be a salary multiplier. You're going to make friends all over the world. Where are my European pals that I get to do Zooms with? Yeah, right? I get to talk to all kinds of people all over the world because I get to speak. You're also going to learn all the communication skills that are necessary to present in the boardroom and to motivate your stakeholders and your clients and all of those stakeholders to actually say yes when you ask for budget. Remember the matrix. These are the skills that matter. Storytelling. Tying narrative that you learn how to do on stage to actually tying it back to business goals is going to be crazy important. Great quote from Carrie. Be bold. I don't know if I've reached out to you and you're like, who the hell is this guy? but it got me where I am. And I hope that you guys can embrace that. It's so scary to do the first couple times, but you'll be shocked how effective it is. This is the TED Talk to watch in order to learn how to do it. I'm going to go through a couple of her slides because I want to make sure that we have time. Okay, why don't people speak? A lot of times it's because I'm pretty happy where I am, right? Why would I rock the boat? Or maybe it's uncertainty. Holy shit, what's going to happen? What if I bomb? Or I don't want to lose the respect of my peers. This is such a crazy, powerful quote, right? Pain of losing is 2 times the pleasure of winning. Oh, imposter syndrome, our old nemesis. This is the worst. How do you think I felt getting ready to do this deck? Like me telling other people how to get the most out of their career, that's like the scariest topic ever. Okay, I know imposter syndrome is super scary because it impacts all of us. 9 out of 10 SEOs with 152 votes said that it impacted them. It's worth getting through it. And I'm going to show you a couple ways, and some are going to be big picture, some are going to be like tactical. Therapy. I see a therapist and I have a psychiatrist. And that happened because I got PTSD after COVID last year. And if you haven't seen me speaking a lot this year, it's because I've been dealing with that. And therapy has been amazing. It took something that triggered panic attacks when I thought about COVID to no longer having emotional kind of impact at all. The ability to go on stage here, I don't feel anxious in my stomach at all right now. Like I just feel like I'm chit-chatting with my pals. I love this quote from my pal Petra. We're SEOs, we optimize things. Why wouldn't we want to optimize our lives too? If your insurance plan covers it, please, you will get so much out of it. Box breathing. Let's do a little thing together. Everybody inhale for 4 seconds. 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale for 8. This process, if you do it 2 or 3 times in a row, it sort of breaks that chain where anxiety takes hold. And you'll feel the anxiety just rushing out of your body. Remember your ditches. Remember all the hard times, all the hills that you had to climb. Remember the marathons you ran. Anything that was crazy difficult. I did that. If I can do that, I can do this. Record your wins and revisit often. We all do this, right? These are the ways to get through all the tough times. It is so worth it to speak. You will live your biggest, best life, and you'll get so much out of it. Give back. This is the cornerstone for me. Starts with Hamlet. He meant so much to so many of us, right? And Hamlet, when I asked him how he got where he was, or what was the most important thing, and it was always giving back as much as he possibly could, as much time as he could devote. I guarantee the time that you give back to our community, you will get back to you 2 to 10x of whatever you put out into the world. Guaranteed. Give as much as you can. Be vulnerable. How did you guys feel when I told you that quick anecdote about me having issues with anxiety? Me too. Anyone think that? No hands raised, but anybody else have anxiety? Right? It sucks. Anyone else ever have a panic attack? I thought I was going to die the first time. I think it's important once you have a platform to normalize those types of discussions so that we can all admit that we're human. Mentor as many people as you can. Whether it's informal or formal, doesn't really matter. Let's end this where we began. Simple illustrations can motivate you to do so much. This drawing followed me around through 5 different jobs on a sticky note. And it barely stuck to the monitor when I got to the end. No matter how hard stuff was, I could always look at that picture and be motivated to work and put in the time. Lori, my 2 boys, Max and Shadow. Max is on the right. He's adorable. our humble abode. It's been an amazing time with you guys today. I'm really excited to have been here, and I hope you guys get a ton out of MozCon. Thanks.